Little Johnny attended a horse auction with his father. He watched as his father moved from horse to horse, running his hands up and down the horse's legs and rump and chest. After a few minutes, Johnny asked, "Dad, why are you doing that?" His father replied, "Because when I'm buying horses, I have to make sure that they are healthy and in good shape before I buy." Johnny, looking worried, said, "Dad, I think the UPS guy wants to buy Mom."
While playing in the backyard, little Johnny kills a honeybee. His father sees him killing the honeybee and angrily says, "No honey for you for 1 month." Later that afternoon, Johnny's dad catches him tearing the wings off a butterfly. "That's it. No butter for you for 1 month," says his dad. Later that evening, as Johnny's mother cooks dinner, a cockroach runs across the kitchen floor. She jumps and stomps on it, and then looks up to find little Johnny and her husband watching her. Little Johnny looks at his father and says, "Are you going to tell her, Dad, or do you want me to?"
A woman goes to her boyfriend's parents' house for dinner. This is Tobe her first time meeting the family, and she is very nervous. They all sit down and begin eating a fine meal. The woman is beginning to feel a little discomfort, thanks to her nervousness and the broccoli casserole. The gas pains are almost making her eyes water. Left with no other choice, she decides to relieve herself a bit, and lets out a dainty fart. It wasn't loud, but everyone at the table heard the poof. Before she even had a chance to be embarrassed, her boyfriend's father looked over at the dog that had been snoozing at the woman's feet and said in a rather stern voice, "Skippy!" The woman thought, "This is great," and a big smile came across her face. A couple of minutes later, she was beginning to feel the pain again. This time, she didn't even hesitate. She let a much louder and longer fart rip. The father again looked at the dog and yelled, "Damn it, Skippy!" Once again the woman smiled and thought, "Yes." A few minutes later the woman had to let another one rip. This time she didn't even think about it. She let rip a fart that rivaled a train whistle blowing. Once again, the father looked at the dog with disgust and yelled, "Damn it, Skippy, get away from her before she shits on you."
If you had $1, quizzed the teacher, and you asked your father for another $1.50, how much money would you have? $1, answered little Johnny. "You don't know your basic math," said the teacher, shaking her head, disappointed. Little Johnny shook his head too. "You don't know my daddy."
Two boys were talking and the one said to the other, "There is an easy way to get what you want." The other boy said, "How?" The boy replied, "Tell people you know their secret." The boy jumps up and runs to his dad. "I know your secret." The dad replies, "Please don't tell your mom here's $10. The boy then runs to his mom. "I know your secret." The mom said, "Please don't tell your dad here's $15. The boy then decides to try it on the mailman. "I know your secret." The mailman opened his arms and said, "Come, give your dad a hug."
Little Johnny was in class and the teacher announced that they were going to try something different to help everyone get to know each other a little better, and to help with their spelling. She explained, "I want you to stand up and give us the occupation of your father, spell it, and say one thing he would give us all if he was here today." The first student raised her hand to volunteer. "Marcy," the teacher said. "You may go first." Marcy replied, "My father is a banker. BANKR, and if he was here today, he would give us all a shiny new penny." The teacher said, "Very nice, Marcy, who wants to go next?" Kevin stood up and announced, "My father is a baker. BAKR, and if he was here today, he would give us all a freshly baked cookie." "Very good," the teacher told Kevin. Jeff was next, and he said, "My father is an accountant." AK, no wait, ACK, no. Before he could attempt to spell it once more, the teacher cut him off and told him to sit back down and to think about it for a while. When he thought he knew how to spell it, he could stand back up and try again. Little Johnny raised his hand in excitement, hoping to be acknowledged by the teacher. The teacher called on little Johnny to go next. Johnny said, "My father is a bookie. B, Okay, and if he was here today, he would give us all 20:1 odds. Jeff will never be able to spell accountant.
There was a father who called his 5 small children together. As they sat together in a circle on the floor, the dad placed the toy in the middle. He explained to them that he won this toy as a door prize and he wanted to give it to one of them. He asked them, "Who is the most obedient?" 5 sets of eyes looked up at him. Sensing that they didn't understand the word, he then asked, "Okay, who always obeys mommy and does everything she says?" One of the children picked up the toy and handed it to the father. "You win!" exclaimed the child.
Billy learned at school that everybody has secrets. So, he decided to take advantage of it. One day, as he came home from school, he went in front of his mother and told her, "Mommy, mommy, I know everything." His mom, obviously scared to death, "Here, take a 100 euros and say nothing to your father about it, okay?" "Okay, mommy," says Billy and leaves the room with a big smile on his face. When his dad came from work, he did the same to him as well. "Daddy, daddy, I found out everything." "NUN," his father puts his hand on his pocket. "Here, take a 100 euros and say nothing to your mother, okay?" "Okay," says Billy with a bigger smile on his face. The next morning, on his way to school, he sees the postman. He thought he could try it to him too. "Mr. Fokker, I know everything." The postman, the minute he heard it, fell on his knees and wide opened his arms. Then, Come closer. My son."
An 80-year-old Italian man goes to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor is amazed at what good shape the guy is in and asks, "How do you stay in such great physical condition?" "I'm Italian and I am a golfer," says the old guy. "And that's why I'm in such good shape. I'm up well before daylight and out golfing up and down the fairways. Have a glass of vino, and all is well." "Well," says the doctor, "I'm sure that helps, but there's got to be more to it. How old was your dad when he died?" "Who said my dad's dead?" The doctor is amazed. "You mean you're 80 years old and your dad's still alive? How old is he?" "He's 100 years old," says the old Italian golfer. "In fact, he golfed with me this morning, and then we went to the beach for a walk. That's why he's still alive. He's Italian and he's a golfer too." "Well," the doctor says, "that's great, but I'm sure there's more to it than that. How about your dad's dad? How old was he when he died?" "Who said my grandpa's dead?" Stunned, the doctor asks. "You mean you're 80 years old and your grandfather's still living? Incredible, how old is he?" "He's 118 years old," says the old Italian golfer. The doctor is getting frustrated at this point. "So, I guess he went golfing with you this morning too?" "No. Grandpa couldn't go this morning because he's getting married today." At this point the doctor is close to losing it. Getting married? Why would a 118-year-old guy want to get married? Who said he wanted to?
A little boy goes to his dad and asks, "What is politics?" Dad says, "Well son, let me try to explain it this way. I'm the breadwinner of the family, so let's call me capitalism. Your mom, she's the administrator of the money, so we'll call her the government. We're here to take care of your needs, so we'll call you the people. The nanny, we'll consider her the working class. And your baby brother, we'll call him the future. Now, think about that and see if that makes sense." So the little boy goes off to bed thinking about what Dad had said. Later that night, he hears his baby brother crying, so he gets up to check on him. He finds that the baby has severely soiled his diaper. So the little boy goes to his parents' room and finds his mother sound asleep. Not wanting to wake her, he goes to the nanny's room. Finding the door locked, he peeks in the keyhole and sees his father in bed with the nanny. He gives up and goes back to bed. The next morning, the little boy says to his father, "Dad, I think I understand the concept of politics now." The father says, "Good son, tell me in your own words what you think politics is all about." The little boy replies, well, while capitalism is screwing the working class, the government is sound asleep, the people are being ignored, and the future is in deep shit.
Little Johnny walked into the kitchen, saw his mother making a cake and announced, I'm gonna go play in my room for a couple of hours. I sure would like a piece of cake after though. Later, when his mother brought him a piece of cake, little Johnny exclaimed, wow, it worked. Puzzled, his mother asked, what do you mean? Little Johnny replied, Daddy said that in order to get a piece around here, you have to spend a couple of hours playing first.
Hey, there, I put a lot effort into making these videos, so please subscribe for more jokes and stay happy, thank you.